We say hello to you. We hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of the Adidas Track Nationals Day 2 of 2. We're about to get underway with the middle school girls 60-meter dash finals. Lane 1, Ziana Gooden of Charger Elite. Lane 2, Yasmin Hassan Gowdel from Team Ontario. Her team and crowd have been rather raucous coming down from Canada. We expect nothing but more from them today. Christiane Sheridan-Sane from the Heat Track Club will be in lane number 3. Our fastest qualifier from Verena, Imani Moore, ran 7:72 yesterday. Look out for her in lane number 4. Kennedy Austin of Charles County Elite is in 5. Tiana Heru of Victory Lap. Again, those middle 4 all broke 8. Savannah Dehaney of Team Ontario in 7. And the lone 7th grader in this field, London Barnes of Newman Athletic Academy, on the outside in 8. Here they come. This is for a middle school national title, and it will go to Imani Moore. Reppin' Verena in style. Coming through for the title in a 7.70. Faster than she went in the prelims yesterday. That is pure execution for Imani Moore. Official times being confirmed. All 8 are in. 770, 781 for Sheridan-Sane. And third place goes to Heru at 786 for the bronze. Once again, a reminder to our YouTube audience, we have a live chat. If you're here, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. If you've got any athletes that we should look forward to watching today, give us a shout. Let us know where they're from, what they'll be representing. And perhaps if you have any wild takes or predictions, I know we've got a couple of national records up for grabs coming tonight in the 4x2 finals. We already saw the Bullis girls break the national record last night in the prelims, and the boys go U.S. number 2 all-time at 124.64. The girls ran a 134.31, breaking their time from 2018. Just a few things to look out forward to in addition to this next event. The middle school final of the boys 60-meter dash, having a look at what happened yesterday in the preliminaries to give us a sense of what to expect. Eli Simmons from Riverdale Baptist was the fastest qualifier in 7:26. He'll be in the middle of the track in lane 4. Let's meet the rest of the field. There were some guys within a tenth of him. We've got Zach Pratt and Riel Wren of Charles County Elite in 1 and 2. Landon Holmes of Elite Speed. He'll be dangerous in 3. Simmons, the aforementioned fastest qualifier from RB in 4. Charles Frederick ran 7:34 to get here. He'll be in lane number 5. Jaden Taylor of Elite Speed is in 6. So lots of pairs of teammates here. Javane Rowe of Mount Airy Track Club will be in lane 7. And Christian Simpson of Elite Express Track and Field will be in lane number 8. Our competitors in 6 and 8, Taylor and Simpson, are both 7th graders in a sea of 8th graders, showing that though they may be a little bit younger in their development, they are still speedsters. The saying goes, speed kills. We're about to see who collects the W in our latest championship event, the middle school boys 60-meter dash final.
Pratt, Wren, Holmes, Simmons, Frederick, Taylor, Rowe, and Simpson, 1 through 8.
They get underway, and look at the battle between 3 and 4. It's going to take a lean at the line. Landon Holmes and Eli Simmons neck and neck at the finish. Only one can become national champion. The both of them eyes fixated on that clock. YouTube chat, make your picks now. Who was it? Simmons in 3, or 4 rather, or Holmes in 3, and it is Simmons by 100th. 725 to 726. We knew those fellas on his inside and out were going to be dangerous, despite being nearly a tenth behind him coming in. That is why you run the race, for the pure drama of the final. Eli Simmons of Riverdale Baptist with an amazing effort. He had to keep his composure. He was so used to separating as he did in the prelims yesterday, was pressured the entire way by Eli Holmes, who was running out of his mind, but just had the wherewithal to lean a little bit more aggressively. The difference maker by our middle school boys national champion, Eli Simmons from Riverdale Baptist. Time to get underway with our next event. It's the freshmen for the girls' 60-meter dash. They are already setting their blocks. Our top qualifiers from the prelims yesterday. Again, we are referring to that as our constant metric for assessing what's to come. Our girls' 60-meter dash saw a very historic occurrence, and we've got the final underway. Allie Brediger tied the Ohio freshman state record held by Abby Steiner yesterday at 7:55. How fast did she go today for the national title win? There's no doubt she is adidas national champion. She is waiting to see that time. Remember, she needs a 7:55 to officially break the state record in Ohio for freshmen. She is still being forced to wait it out and look at the clock. She could have run a few more strides up and down this track by now. Our next event is getting set up. The boys for the freshmen. Still no official time. We need to see what happened for the girls' freshman 60. Allie Brediger. Boys going to have to set their blocks. We will keep you updated on the time. 7:61 the first time that comes up on the screen, but that was by Sherman of LaSalle. They likely changed the start list over. Give you a sense of what we're seeing right now. They're showing the boys' start list, but because they've adjusted the scoreboard, they're factoring in the lanes. So Brediger's time was a 7:61. She did not ultimately break the freshman 60-meter dash record, but she will go down tied with one of the greatest sprinters in Buckeye State history, Abby Steiner, who's looking to complete a major comeback this year with all the injury problems that the former Kentucky Wildcat has had. It is just great to see her continue to persevere through all the trouble that she's been through. And her successor has just completed the first step of potentially a long and successful career. Allie Brediger, your national champion of the girls' freshman 60. How about the boys? Perhaps if he was looking up at the scoreboard, then our athlete in lane 4 and fastest qualifier, Connor Sherman, will be able to declare himself national champion already, but based on what we saw from him yesterday, a man of great class and sportsmanship. He knows he has to leave it all out on the line here. Evan Hamilton of Atkins, Amir Belton of Largo, Ephraim Tea of Classical, Sherman, the fastest qualifier as we mentioned, in 4 from LaSalle. It was 200ths away from the meet record at 7:07. 7:05 is the mark he's looking to take down. Quincy Gilmer as well from War in 5. Sebastian Gizzi of Cooper in 6. Nasir Diggs of Speed Team in 7. And Will Lavelle of Norfolk Academy on the outside in 8. Boys freshman 60 final at Adidas Track Nationals. Sherman was very eager to get out of the blocks. He explodes into his drive phase and separating for the national title in the boys freshman 60. Connor Sherman ties the meet record with a 7:05. Just about flawless as far as execution goes, and this is what we love to see. Giving his competitors all the handshakes. Sebastian Gizzi goes 7:22 for third. He was super stoked about his time. He's already in the stands to celebrate with his friends and supporters. Silver goes to Quincy Gilmer of War Track Club in 7:21. And that, my friends, will do it for the 60-meter dash window today. No more usage of the infield as far as sprints go. It'll be purely used for field events from here when we return in about 5 minutes. The first oval event of the day, the Girls National Elite 2-mile run. Stick with us on YouTube, Float Track, and MileSplit at Adidas from Virginia.
This will be a true 2 miles, not 3,200 meters. One section final. Tegan Walker, Train Fast Athletics, Summer Muxlow, unattached. Annabelle Baylor, St. Catherine's. Alice from Pazzo, Garden State Track Club. Kelly Foka, unattached. Sybil Jason, unattached. Amber Rice, West Henderson. Safa Ellis, unattached. Annie Reed, unattached. Claire Walsh, unattached. Kate Meineke, Riverside Running Club. Ella Willoughby, unattached. Rhea Ford, unattached. Jillian Hunt, Lafayette Club. Isabel Meadow Soto, unattached. Anya Aman, unattached. Elizabeth Kelp, unattached. Amelia Slagle, Elite Cadets. Olivia Sopkowitz, Notre Dame Prep. Priscilla Rollins, Freedom Flyers, Tessa Bavarian, Shipley Volblack, Stella Freeman.
They are getting on the track for the next event, the Girls 2-mile run National Elite. I've got to shout out a member of our comments section at LUHXMYIEL with a period and an underscore to follow. Says Cameron Chandler, freshman at WBHS, running the 400 meters, allowing me to remind you that the entire midway portion of our program will be dominated by the quarter mile. Cameron Chandler, one of the main athletes to look out for. Thank you for that shout out. We hope that you will continue to provide us, our commenters, with things that you're looking forward to today at Adidas Track Nationals Day 2. If you got an athlete to watch in this next event, the 2-mile, let us know just who. We've got plenty of athletes to get to and cover a total of 24. If you'd like to see the full start list, it'll be available to you on the Blue Ridge Timing site. We're going to let the race develop. I think we'll take a quick gander at the field. You got a great mixture of talent ranging in all 4 grades of high school, and they'll be running 16 laps around the Virginia Beach Sports Center Oval, starting out in Waterfalls, running a little bit of extra distance to complete a full 2 miles. I see 6 in the outside group, and on the inside group, double digits. In fact, it looks like, yes, exactly 10 on the inside group and 6 on the outside. So 2/3 of this field have shown up to run. And right at the top of this straightaway. Once these cones conclude, they will cut in to sort for position. Try and pay attention to what hip numbers are showing most prominently. I'm seeing hip number 19 towards the front. Olivia Sobkowitz of Notre Dame Prep, Amelia Slagle of Elite Cadets as well, and even Tegan Walker, the primary hip drawee out of hip 1 from Train Fast Athletics in the mix. So we're not going to see too much breakaway action here unless somebody in this pack decides they want to run away from this field and stretch everybody out. That takes a lot of bravery to do in a national championship, I will say.
Coming up on 14 laps to go.
Through the first quarter mile and change right around 123. Again, that's 418 approximate meters. So a few seconds outside of their likely to be average quarter mile pace.
8 young ladies in that lead pack.
But as the race continues to develop, if you take a screenshot of where they are at this point in the track and you do the same screenshot a lap later, there's a chance that it might not look the same.
Still running 1, 2, 3.
If it does, that's just a testament to their mutual unwritten agreement to allow the race to run tactically.
Also in that lead pack.
We've got Annabelle Baylor of St. Catherine. She's on the inside in third, running a very smart race. You want to try and minimize your distance as little as you can when you find yourself in these types of situations where a lot of athletes are together. It can be easy to panic if you're boxed in and want to be on the outside where you can make a move more easily, but that comes at a cost of running extra distance, which will sap your legs of the necessary juice to make that move. We've got hip number 13 in the lead now. That is Rhea Ford running unattached as they come up to the first 800 and change split. So that second quarter mile was around a 70, make that 84, a minute and 24 seconds. Heading into the 5th of 16 backstretch. We've got 7 girls on the lead group, and our 8th runner is a few meters back. And the other half of the field is all spread out. Speaking of spread out, just look at this field starting to open up as our hip number 1, Tegan Walker of Train Fast Athletics, has moved to the front. Going with her, hips 2 and 3, Summer Muxlow and Annabelle Baylor. Tegan Walker, hailing from Ewing, New Jersey, committed to TCNJ, the College of New Jersey. Ran at the New Jersey Meet of Champions in the 3,200 meters and achieved an indoor best of 11:10:22. As far as all races that she's run over the approximate 2-mile distance, that is her fastest to date. And we're going to keep an eye on that clock as we continue. Tegan Walker, of course, running unattached today, but with that state caliber experience, has to think that she's in a good position to succeed. I like what the next 3 have done. They've joined forces with the top 3 once again. It looked like our group that we had assessed earlier with Walker, Muxlow, and Baylor were pulling away, but now they've tethered a few friends along with them to make the race even more exciting.
We now have 6 young ladies in that lead pack.
Annabelle Baylor, the junior from St. Catherine's out of our Virginia State capital of Richmond. She's run some low 11s this season as well in the 32, 11:12:04. Part of the Independent School Association in VA, the VISAA, more formally. She's right there on the shoulder, challenging for second with Summer Muxlow in third. We do not, unfortunately, have a Caroline in this heat. If a runner with that name came to mind, I'd think of Caroline Barton, North Carolina. independent state champ. Out of Asheville, as we got a little bit of contact there, a bit of an elbow bump between our top two, Tegan Walker and Annabelle Baylor, as they mount up for a charge. Here comes hip number 11. First time we're calling the name of Kate Meinke of Riverside Running Club. Kate Meinke coming from Paynesville, Ohio, out of Paynesville Riverside High School. Hasn't run much this indoor season, only a 1,600 meters at Aspire Invitational on record. But she's shown the ability to run quickly as well over the 32. She'd be going for a big PR here. They were in the 540s approximately at the first MileSplit. So they'll be on pace for something in the low 11s in this National Elite Division. Meinke, her PR's in the 1140s for perspective. Walker, Baylor, Muxlow. Your next three. The top six all still within 10 meters of one another, but not nearly as bunched up as they were at the halfway point. Final 1,200 meters loading. Meinke, Baylor still trying to move by on the outside of the Ewing, New Jersey native, Tegan Walker. Trained Fast Athletics Track Club based in the Trenton, New Jersey area. That's who Tegan Walker is repping today. Kate Meinke, and she's representing Riverside Running Club from her hometown in Paynesville, OH. She is really making a brave move here. Oh, let's not forget that she has plenty of brave souls chasing her down. Summer Muxlow, the unattached athlete, has broken away from the chase group in second. Max Muxlow coming up from Georgia, the freshman from North Hall out of Gainesville. We know Georgia is not having had an indoor season consistently, so the only races that she had under her belt last year were at Adidas Indoor Nationals for indoor season. She ran the 800, the mile, and the 3K, and now running a full 2 miles in the National Elite Division, has pulled herself right in contention. Still in second, though, behind Kate Meinke from Riverside. But we got a big move now coming up into the new number 2 spot. That is Kaylee Padauka. Kaylee Padauka out of Nokesville, Virginia, yet another freshman in the mix. Like we said off the top, a lot of variance between grades, but the freshman here, she's run very quickly. 6th place at the Bulldog Invitational earlier this season in 11:15.83. Her indoor personal best. She's yet to have a full season of outdoor or run a 3,200 or 2 miles. So she's looking to PR as well as challenge Reinke for the national title. They've still got some company to deal with. Tegan Walker's there in third. Summer Muxlow's there in fourth. But Reinke, this has been her lead to lose. Kate Reinke. But she has been passed. Kate Meinke, excuse me, from Riverside Running Club. Got the M and the R tongue twisted there. Kate Meinke is back in second now. Having to stick with Kaylee Padauka. The Georgian is in the lead with less than 400 meters remaining. This is going to be a very quick time for Kaylee, who is yet to run a full 3,200 meters on record. The freshman from the Peach State, trying to hold off the new number 2 spot. Summer Muxlow, her fellow freshman, has matched her move. How about this? This could be a preview of things to come for two great distance runners in the class of 2028. Here they come to the bell, and it's Summer Muxlow into the lead. Summer Muxlow, she's the Georgian in the lead, and Kaylee Pagauka, the Virginian, in second. But my, oh my, what a breakaway on this last lap by Summer Muxlow. Her first 3,200 meters of the season will culminate in a national championship at Adidas Indoors in the National Elite Division. A huge win for Summer Muxlow. 11:14.61. And she just went for it in that final 200. Kaylee Pagauka as well. Like we said, a potential preview of things to come. Tegan Walker gets up for third in 11:24.79. Georgia, Virginia, and Jersey will claim the top three medalist spots as far as the order goes for girls National Elite 2 miles. We got a couple of more shout outs for some athletes running. A lot of athletes in the 400 that I'm seeing. Our friend Philip Janik in the comments section has a teammate running the 1 mile. For those looking to watch Philip Janik's teammate run the 1 mile, that will come between 2:50 and 4:05. That'll be when our miles are running today. Noah Corbin of WBHS will be running as well today. Shout out to Zay Zay the Gamer for that update in the chat. As for the next event, we're going to be running the boys in the National Elite Division of the 2 mile run, scheduled to go in approximately 3 minutes. The girls, national champion Summer Muxlow, coming up from Georgia, running unattached. Still some more running to do to complete. One more athlete left to finish. We'll stick with you trackside as we get ready for the next event. Boys 2 mile National Elite coming up in a couple minutes. And while we have you here on our live chat, I'm going to throw out a direct question to our commenters. Will the Bullis School break 1, 2, or 0 national records in the 4x2 tonight? Remember, they broke the girls' national record in the prelims of day 1. And from what we know, they are both returning as the fastest qualifiers from day 1. The boys were just 27 hundredths away from Archbishop Carroll's 1:24.37. The girls ran 1:34.31. Remember, they'll need to beat that in order to get the national record. And the boys will need to beat their own school record that they set last night. All right, we've got USM Lehman 1. They say 1. Perhaps you think something different. Will it be 2 national records for the Bullis School in the 4x2, meaning both genders? Will it be 0? We don't know. We're going to find out at the end of the night. Let us know your opinions down below. Shout out Macon Smith as well in the 2 mile. Thank you, Owen Guest, for letting us know what to expect. Speaking of the 2 mile, we've got the boys National Elite Division on the track right now. Macon Smith is in this heat. He'll be in hip number 3 from Jefferson Forest, but we've got 2 heats of this division, so he's going to have to really go for time, as are the other 19 fellas in this first of 2 sections. Typically what we've seen, the second group of athletes in timed final type of races will be the faster seeded group. What are we going to see here? No national championships will be guaranteed from this first heat, but none will be guaranteed from the second heat. It's like we say so often, the conditions are the same for all athletes as far as when they get on the line, the performance atmosphere that they're placed in. And even in races with faster seeded athletes, that does not eliminate tactics from the equation in national championship races. They're coming around, getting ready to break from the cones, taking control early. MileSplit is up there, our fan favorite, according to our YouTube live chat. This group of athletes ranging from all different grades. We got freshmen, we got sophomores, we got a bunch of juniors and seniors as well. In fact, we've got just one freshman in this particular section. That is hip number 16, Dario Lavelle of Freedom Flyers Track Club. So definitely make sure you look out for him in the standings. MileSplit takes up the lead, overtaking Charlie Simpson of Corvian Community School, just past the 418-meter mark. We'll assess the rest of the splits based on their approximation rather than their exact distance, as that can get a little bit confusing. As far as personal bests go, though, I like to assess them based on fastest 3,200 meters or 2-mile times. Because let's say if an athlete runs a sub 10, for example, like a 9:59, 3,200 meters, I'd call myself a sub 10 2-miler if that were me. Even if my fastest 2-mile on record was, let's say, a 10:05 or a 10:06, just a bit outside of sub 10 for the full 2 miles. But man, oh man, MileSplit of Jefferson Forest. You talk about guys looking to chase after sub 10. He may be looking for something much more significant than that. He's already proven that he can break significant barriers, as he has in the 800, 158.84 at the Nike Indoor Nationals meet. Leading now on this 5th lap as he just came through 800 meters. MileSplit, 9:34.80 at the Bulldog Invitational for a 3,200-meter indoor personal best this season. Likes to run the steeple a little bit outdoors, as we've seen. A 6:25.84 2K steeplechase, and from what I know, that is not far off of the national standard for the steeple. So we'll see if Macon wants to potentially step outside the box and go for a run at that event once we get to the outdoor season. Pretty widespread race, much more widespread than the girls that we saw. Smith knows that by being in the first heat, he might not have much work done for him. So he's just going to have to continue to do it himself if he wants to set this heat up to become national elite champions. Looks like hip number 7 is running in second place. That's Connor Ryan of Black River in the black kit. How close can he stay, though? Smith, within the next couple of laps, will be hitting the halfway point. Also in the mix, we got Matthew Frick of Louisville Extreme. So Smith from Jefferson Forest running unopposed through 1,400. His lead is about 3.5 seconds. Frick has taken over second. Simpson is still holding on to 4th. And then in 5th place, wearing a bright gold jersey from Bullseye Running, is Connor Schaff. That's our top 5 as we currently stand. They're all within about 30 meters of another, but it's going to be difficult to catch MileSplit. The rest of this field is going to have to start timing out their kick as he hits the halfway point in 4:50 and 8 even laps to go in 4:52. So We've seen he can average this pace for 2 full miles nearly with that aforementioned 9:34 2-mile personal best over the 3,200-meter distance. Again, not to confuse the two, but that is his PR that we are basing this effort off of. But since he placed 6th in the race that he ran that in, that calls back to the point I made about the effort. He's having to solo this run, not necessarily unopposed, but with a lot less work done for him. Matthew Frick hung back in the pack, allowing his chief opposition, formerly Connor Ryan of Black River, to do the work for him. And just look at how steadily he's closed the gap up to Smith. Looking at Matthew Frick from Louisville Extreme, the sophomore out of St. Xavier High School in Louisville, Kentucky. Competed at his state championships for the 1,600 meters. So maybe a little bit longer distance than he's used to running at the championship level, but he's a sub 430 miler. He made great improvements from his freshman year, down from a 447 1,600 meter personal best. He's still looking for his first sub 10 in the 32 though. 10:06:38, the fastest we've seen. Frick, our second place runner, challenging for the lead go. He doesn't want just a personal best. He wants a heat win here at Nationals. Matthew Frick of Louisville Extreme and Macon Smith of Jefferson Forest, Virginia. For Mr. Brian C. and our live audience, the 800 meters is not going to be for another few hours. We will have coverage of that event between the hours of 7 p.m. and 8:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. We'll have the National Elite and Championship divisions of the 800. We even had some middle school 800s last night, but we're running 4 times the distance here and then some. Boys National Elite 3,200 meters, less than 4 laps, less than 800. And it's Matthew Frick and the unwavering Macon Smith. It's certainly going to come down to these two, as the next closest competitor is well over 50 meters behind. These guys are racing as if a title is on the line, shrugging the unseated moniker aside. Matthew Frick trying to keep his arms as reserved as possible. Breathe in, breathe out each step forward, but Macon Smith just looks like a conveyor belt out there, the way he's matching every stride and almost allowing himself to be pulled right up onto the shoulder, but he knows that there's still 500 meters left nearly, so he's taking his time. He tucks back in behind Frick, who tries to step on the accelerator again. The lap traffic will certainly be a factor over these final 2 laps, as they must run a little bit of extra distance. And consider if Macon Smith wants to pass on a turn, if they're in contact with lap traffic, he may have to go out to lane 3. They are still accelerating into the final 300 meters of this race. Matthew Frick showing 0 signs of losing his composure. He is still dialed in on this pace. He feels Macon Smith, he hears the footsteps, and he is about to hear the sound of the bell in heat 1 of 2 of the Boys National Elite 2-mile run. Macon Smith looking for room on the inside now. Has to back off once again. He was passed up just after the mile mark in hopes that he would have one final sprint left on this last lap. Here he goes, up along the shoulder, but he cannot get by. Matthew Frick will lead off the final turn in heat number 1. Now starting to pick up the turnover. It's going to be a battle to the line. Frick just takes it over Macon Smith. What a race. How about that for your first ever sub 10? 9:40.07. Remember, he came in at 9:06, and he is still just a sophomore. Matthew Frick of Louisville Elite.
Edging Smith in the last strides, 9:40.07 to 9:40.15.
Still a few finishers left. Again, we welcome our YouTube live audience as well as our FlowTrack MileSplit live audiences. Wherever you're watching from, we appreciate you for joining us. Day 2 of Adidas Track Nationals. Carson Gambaro here with the whole MileSplit crew on site. Austin Melius, Preston Merchant, Mark Dwyer, David Wen, Marianne Magnant, and Andrew Brown. All at the Virginia Beach Sports Center bringing you the action. We've got to give you a brief update on the Girls Championship 1 mile run. For those curious as to when that event will go, we will not be running that until tomorrow. The championship 1 mile will be at 2:50, in fact 2:40 for the girls, for those curious about that event. We've still got one heat left, though, to decide the national elite title in the boys 2 mile run. Our second heat is coming up next. 9:40.07 is the time to beat.
Hip 6 from Blazing Raiders, James Sellers. Hip 7 from Alexandria City Track Club.
If you're just joining in, it's a double waterfall start. If you're new to that concept, they will keep the athletes in separate groupings for the first 3/4 of a lap, separated by cones between lanes 3 and 4, and they will break once they get to the top of the straightaway.
Hip 13 from Crofton Track Club, Scott Cunningham. Hip 14 from Queens Youth Runners, Ahmed Maru. Hip 15 competing unattached, Parker Blouser. Hip 16 unattached, Frankie Kelly. And hip number 17 unattached, Jonathan Slick. Again, the time to beat after the first section, 9:40.15.
On your mark.
What kind of a racer are we going to witness here? Getting underway. I see 6 guys on the outside group and 10 on the inside, so yet another heat of 16. We had on schedule 17, so only 1 absence. That's a very impressive attendance rating, considering we've had some heats with a third, as in 33% scratch from a particular section. Not today. That is hip number 12, taking the early lead. Chase Tompkins, the unattached athlete.
Field gets an early feel for one another.
Tompkins, a native of Concord, North Carolina, from J.M. Robinson High School, has yet to set any PRs in the early stages of his outdoor season, but he had a PR-filled indoor season, to say the least. 246.66 over the 1,000, a 434.41 over the 1,600, and a 949.40 over the 3,200 meters. That's faster than he had ever covered the distance outdoors that were in question here today. A full 2 miles, roughly equivalent to 3,200 meters. 16 even laps, plus 18 additional off the start. So Tompkins is out there. We've got hip number 3 right behind him. That is Addison Brooks of Mount Vernon Track Club. Mount Vernon from Alexandria, Virginia, not the same Mount Vernon as Rye Benjamin's alma mater, based in Westchester County, New York. You got a nice 2-way battle for third as well, and the most of the rest of the field in single file. Let's recall how the last heat took shape, though. It was all about Macon Smith setting the early pace. Matthew Frick eventually working his way up to him to set a massive 26-second lifetime best and fastest time to beat 9:40.07. Moreover, a thrilling race. Our new leader is the man from Mount Vernon, Addison Brooks. He's running in his senior year. Took 5th at the Virginia State Championships for Class 6 here just a few weeks ago. 9:28.46, his lifetime best that he achieved for that position. Keep in mind, he had come in at 9:45.17 at the end of outdoor season. So he has improved by nearly 20 seconds. And he is trying to continue this effort forward. He just passed through the first kilometer well below 3 minutes in the lower 250s. We'll see if Addison Brooks can keep this rolling, and if anybody in the field can match his move. He's definitely starting to slow down a little bit as he knows there is a lot of running, a lot of pacing left to figure out. He's a national championship contender after all. You've got to come with that experience and understanding of your fitness and position on the track. Moving into second now, toward the bottom right of your screen, is Dylan Dial running unattached. A native of West Virginia out of Cabell Midland High School. We got a couple of West Virginians in the building, but Dylan Dial, we've seen him go 9:27 over the 2 mile recently at Nike Indoor Nationals. So he has an even faster personal best than the man in front of him, Addison Brooks. And what about the new man in front of him in third? Now into second, wearing hip number 6. In that white strip there, Jaleb Saunders of Blazin' Raiders. Blazin' Raiders coming up from Greenbelt, Maryland, coming down, in fact, from Greenbelt, Maryland. Things are definitely starting to compress ever so slightly between the top three. We're about to come up to the halfway split. It is Addison Brooks on the lead. Halfway through, just beneath 440. These guys are making sub 920 pace, and we're not even in the championship division of the 2 mile. We will have the championship 2 miles to come after this section, but they're looking to get there in a matter of no time. Looking at Jaleb Saunders in second. From the Blazin' Raiders. Saunders, pride of Eleanor Roosevelt High School, competing today with his track club, Blazin' Raiders. He's run 9:35.10 over 32. That was en route to a full 2 mile personal best of 9:38.17 at the Armory Hispanic Games up in New York City this season. He even competed at the indoor state meet, took 4th in the mile and 2nd in the 2 mile. And he's going to have some closing speed if we consider what he's done over the 1600. 4:19 for a personal best. The man you see in second, trying to chase down Addison Brooks, who has led since around 600 meters in. 5:54, so that latest quarter right around a 75. They're more so dialing it back to around 5 minute per lap pace. Not per lap, but 5 minute mile pace based on how they're running on each lap split. You cannot forget about our third place runner, though. You just saw on the right of your screen, Dylan Dial. Again, the West Virginian trying to take it to the 2 guys in front of him. We've got a new leader. Saunders has taken it over. In the white over navy, Addison Brooks trying to keep his stride as open as possible. As so oftentimes, when you get tired, that becomes your biggest asset if you got the skill set to work with. Dylan Dial has had a really impressive run in the headband, just closing ever so steady ground. Saunders was perhaps feeling a little bit more adrenaline when he made his move into the front, and he's trying to use that adrenaline and what's left of it to get away from the kickers behind him. It is Jaleb Saunders, the Maryland mile runner-up, the 4:19 closer, trying to bring it in the 2 mile. looking for a sub 930 and then some. If they go sub 920, that'd be a negative split by automatic virtue. So see if they can keep this up. Caleb Saunders has some fans in our live chat comments section as well. Ayan Ahmad will be cheering him on from afar over these final 3 laps. This is going to be a barn burner for the National Elite Championship. They can jog it from here to beat the winning time from Matthew Frick's first heat dub. That's a 9:40.07. We're at 8 flat right now with 500 meters remaining. Caleb Saunders, Addison Brooks is still in second over the West Virginian. Dylan Dial in third. Hard to tell who's in contention for the minor positions. We'll assess that come the finish. But Caleb Saunders continuing to stretch out his lead into the final 400 meters. He's got over 2 seconds of an advantage on Brooks, who took a look over his left shoulder as Dial starts to creep up. Dylan's going to have to go now if he wants to catch Caleb with just 300 meters remaining. Here goes the senior from Eleanor Roosevelt High School in Greenbelt, Maryland. The Blazing Raiders Track Club. Coming up to the bell in 8:53 for the 9:38 full 2-miler. He's got a significant chance at not just a national title, but a massive lifetime best. He'd need 30 seconds to get there, but he's got less than 100 meters. He's got this in the bag, ladies and gentlemen. Caleb Saunders from the Blazing Raiders. Down the final straightaway, your National Elite Boys 2-mile champion. 9:24. Brooks gets up for second, and Dial holds on for third. (9:24.85) for the win by Caleb Saunders.
96 for second. Dylan Dial, third, 9:33.07. Caleb Saunders, National Elite Boys 2-mile champion, 9:24.85.
We're about to reach the top of the 11 o'clock hour here at the Adidas Track Nationals, Day 2. And then our next event on the track, this will be our championship 2-mile run, the first track championship final of the day. This was our first all-purpose track final yesterday, but it was for the middle schoolers. These are the top 2-milers that have come to Virginia Beach this weekend. Looks like we've got 7 of our 9 entrants that'll be going for the gold here. a few familiar names that you're going to want to know. Let's meet the full field. Caitlin Thomas of Hastings looks to be our first hip number. I don't see her out there. Jordan Brown, her hip number 2. She's running unattached. Gracelyn Loudermilch also running unattached. Georgie Helmers. A lot of unattached athletes in this. She's another wearing hip 4. Brielle McLarnon of Homedale, New Jersey will be hip number 5. Lene Berkemer. Safa Ellis, also unattached, will wear hip 6 and 7. Sophia Sauter of Maury Track Club and Caitlin Brown. Your final 2 competitors to overview. As we get going here again, sticking in those lane assignments to start. Jordan Brown. Look out for her in number 2 if she's in this. I see hip number 3 having cut in first. Gracelyn Loudermilch, one of the top distance runners out of the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. The senior from Northeast Bradford, who has set nothing but PRs this season. 1,000, 1,500, mile, 3K, and even the 3,200 meters. She's gone 10:47.12 this season in the longest indoor regular season track distance. And she is trying to capitalize on her season-long fitness. Right up alongside her is hip number 4, Georgie Helmers. Through the first 400 meters, a pretty relaxed pace. No need to get too aggressive with the early tempo. Looking at Georgie Helmers and what she brings to the table, the junior from E.E. Smith in Fayetteville, a.k.a. Dreamville, North Carolina. Helmers, with what we've seen from her, she was second at the North Carolina Cross Country State Meet back in the fall. And before she was a full-time Carolinian, she was winning state titles in Georgia. That's right, she doubled in the 1600 and the 32 last outdoor season. Talking about Georgie Helmers, the girl in second, won the GIAA AAA state meet in both events. She did the same thing in 2023 outdoors, so a double-double state champion in Georgia. Now running unattached from Carolina, much nearer by. Trying to stick with the Pennsylvanian in second. Jordan Brown is there. See her in the red kit in third. Jordan Brown coming off of a double second place finish in the 15 and 3K at the Iowa Indoor State Championships just last weekend. In case you were wondering why we didn't see her at nationals, she had states to contend with. The IATC Indoor Championships, one of the rare indoor meets that Iowans get to run. I know they've had some great distance runners in recent years. Jackson Heidish in his second year with Duke, one that comes to mind, but Jordan Brown out of Indianola High School, trying to add her name to that list. She's in third. We got one other trailer in the mix as they just came through the first, looked like kilometer. The display board shows 11 laps to go, meaning 2,200 meters. So yes, it was the first kilometer. Safa Ellis looks to be the fourth runner in this group, wearing hip number 7. She was initially on the start list for the National Elite Division, but she was moved up to the Championship Division, and she is the youngest competitor in this field. Hitting the 1,200 meter split on the tail end of that top quartet, Safa Ellis. Coming from New York City, George Westinghouse High School in Brooklyn. As I may or may not have mentioned, just a freshman. Ellis won the PSAL Brooklyn Borough Championships. PSAL is the Public School Athletic League, and was even third in the entire city once they came together for city championships. She's run a personal best this season of 11:19.28 at the New York International Showcase. So may not have the sub-10 wheels on paper that girls like Loudermilch have shown before. Brown is in the lead, Loudermilch is in second, and Helmers is in third. But even though Ellis might not have those accolades to her name just yet, she wants to surround herself with the top talent in the nation. That's why she's here, after all, in Virginia Beach, vying for the Adidas National Championship title. Jordan Brown, we know she's made a lengthy trip to vie for her own glory, halfway through around 5:27, so they're sub-11 pace right now. Ellis's strength is definitely going to be tested as we continue in these laps. She has fallen a little bit off the back of this top group as Helmers has moved up into the number 2 spot. Georgie Helmers, she has broken 11 multiple times, indoors and out. She has the fastest lifetime best in the field of 10:44.14. We mentioned Loudermilch at her 10:47. Jordan Brown as well from Indianola, as far as what we've seen from her on the high school scene, has yet to run a 3,200 or 2-mile race, but she's trying to rely on her pure strength to get it done. She has run some 32s with her club, the Accelerate Iowa Track Club, 11 flat 04 this indoor season. So that's her PR that we're going to go off of. As we continue with the race, Helmers has been the only one to go with her. They've dropped Graceland Loudermilch by about 10 meters and then another 15 to Sapa Ellis. Final 1,200 meters coming. This is going to be an exciting close. Brown in her senior year and Helmers in her junior year, both upper-class women, both with plenty of experience. But it's hard to imagine that either of them have much familiarity with each other, and that's what makes races like this difficult. When you come to national championships versus your in-state meets, your local meets, even your dual meets, you bring that familiarity to those meets, understanding what your competitors bring to the table. Nationals, nowhere near the same animal. But you have to think that Georgie Helmers, under those circumstances, has what it takes to thrive in a situation like this. She was able to achieve the double second-place finish after all. In fact, I was thinking of Brown, correction, but just considering in her move to North Carolina this indoor season, she knows what it's like to place herself in unfamiliar situations. She did pick up that second place finish, as we mentioned off the top, at the Carolina Cross Country State Championships. Coming up from much warmer Georgia. So again, unfamiliar scenarios, experience is your best friend. Here goes Georgie Helmers trying to get ever closer with every step. She's on the semi-shoulder of Accelerate Iowa Track Club's Jordan Brown, rocking the red kit in hip number 2 and trying to double her up for a national title. Georgie Helmers. Neither have won a national title before at Adidas. We did get to see Georgie Helmers take third at the Adidas Cross Country Challenge at the beginning of cross country season. But this is our first time getting to witness what Jordan Brown can do at the Nationals for the Triple Stripes. And only her second 3,200 or 2-mile race on record. Can the Iowan get it done over the final 2 laps? We're at 9:30 on the clock, 9:33 into the final 400. Brown trying to fend off Helmers' every assault, but Georgie will not give up. She has nestled herself right on the shoulder, heading into the penultimate backstretch. Jordan Brown, Georgie Helmers, take your pick as we get ready for the final 300 meters. Helmers starting to move up once again. Brown with the longer stride. Helmers with the consistent quick turnover and the pressure around the outside. Georgie Helmers has positioned herself in the lead for the first time as she takes the bell. Can she shake Jordan Brown, though? She's trying to step on that gas, keep putting one foot in front of the other. The meet official starters bringing out the tape. Who will break it first? Helmers with another burst of acceleration. Brown giving it one final go. But into the final straightaway at the Virginia Beach Sports Center, sprinting to the national title is Georgie Helmers. What a run for Georgie Helmers. 10:47.64, just a few seconds off of her all-purpose lifetime best, and Jordan Brown with an 11-second lifetime best of 10:49.67 per second. We'll watch the rest of the finishers as they come in. Helmers there, top right of your screen, having a little post-race chit-chat with one of her key competitors, Gracelyn Loudermilch, who held on for third in the overall standings. Your Adidas bronze medalists. There's all three of your medalists. Top right center, Helmers, Brown, and Loudermilch.
Your top mark so far, 53 feet, 3 1/4 of an inch, 16 meters, 25. Coming up in the second flight, we have 3 athletes ranked in the top 40 in the country. Your U.S. #1, Shamrock Thune of Ocean State Hammerheads, 82 feet, 6 1/4 of an inch. He was first in the Boston meet last week with the PR. Also first in the Army in New York 2 weeks ago. He was first in the RIIL State Indoor Championships, and he was third in the 117th Millrose Games. Also, Miles Berry of Middletown ranked 11th in the country. U.S. #11, I should say, 71 feet, 3 1/2 inches. He was first in the Section 9 state qualifier in New York.
Let's meet our field coming up on the track next for the boys championship 2-mile run. Getting set in their double waterfall start. From hips 1 to 14, we've got James Callahan, Will Baker, Caleb Tenney, Nick Sanders, George Thamatos, Keegan Saft, Kenan Byers, Samuel Darmani, Mateo Kanga, Ryan Bakchi, Alexander Juarez, Gabriel Chandler, Jack Dennehy, and Oscar Fyodorov. That was our field on schedule, and this is looking rather peculiar. We don't rarely see anything quite like this. Have a look at your outside waterfall. It is bigger than your inside waterfall. You almost never see the outside waterfall show to be larger than the inside group, but that is exactly the case here at Adidas Indoor Nationals. I'm seeing 6 guys on the near side group and only 4 guys that'll be running on the inside of the track. As we get underway, we'll soon have a chance to assess our top competitors as they'll stay in their lanes between 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6.
And again, we have a clean start as they head down the back stretch.
There will be some big names to watch in this that we'll get into once we can confirm who's running. Our third hip number, Caleb Tenney from St. Vincent Pallotti High School, has taken over the early lead. He's one of the many guys that came in seated in the mid-910s. Having a look at what he's got to back that up. The senior from Laurel, Maryland, has run some pretty quick times this season, ran a 9:15:02 to win his indoor conference meet. And he even ran a 9:08:60 at the New Balance Nationals indoor just last week. So he is in phenomenal fitness. Even ran a full mile lifetime best indoors of 4:16.18. He won the Maryland State Champs outdoors in 4:15:63, so not necessarily as though he can't go quicker over 1,600 meters. But either way, Caleb Tenney seems to be very confident in his personal abilities and is going to try and use that to stretch out this field. But he knows that this is a national championship after all. And he is not the only stud distance runner out there. James Callahan is there in second. We got to see him feature very prominently at the VA Showcase, running his lifetime best of 9:12:95 there, just 4 seconds off of the newly achieved lifetime best of Caleb Tenney, our leader.
Now putting himself in play, that's number 8, Samuel Darmody, Springboro.
But James Callahan,
Division 1.
he's won a total of 8 independent state championships out of the NC Runners division, dating all the way back to winning the 3,200 meters as just a freshman in 2022. The senior from Cary Christian in the white kit is right up there with the dark navy of our leader, Caleb Tenney.
Less than 12 laps to go.
So they're making this a pretty decent pace. We're about to check on their first kilometer. Wow, 2:30, 2:44 from when they departed at the start line. Now with less than 11 laps to go, Samuel Darmani of Springboro has burst onto the scene. The Ohioan committed to become a Vanderbilt Commodore. Another 4:16 miler on the indoor season. Took 7th the Ohio OATCCC Division I state meet in 9:24:74. He's run a couple of 9:24s this season, but his personal best that we've seen outdoors is a 9:11:43 over the 3,200 meters. So he's gone even quicker. And how about what he did here last year? He ran a full 2 miles of 9:11:80 and en route at 9:08:83 for 3,200 meters, placing him 4th in the nation. So he wants to upgrade for sure, and he's already at a higher position this year than where he finished last year. Tenney, Callahan, and Darmani at 1,400 at 3:54, 3:55. Let's have a look at what they achieve at the first mile split. This could be very telling as to what time they'll have a chance to achieve as they head into the back straightaway on the 8th of 16 plus 18 meters of laps. The chase groups pretty staggered throughout the oval. But our top three will take the first mile. 4:27 from the start line, and with 8 laps to go at 4:29 for Caleb Tenney. We know he can close quickly. He's broken 2 this indoor season in the 800. He even broke it outdoors as a junior last year. So he's got the wheels. James Callahan, a little bit more of a longer distance specialist, but he's shown he's got the shorter range, having gone as quickly as 1:54 to take second at the Cary AC Elite Sprint and Distance meet back in April of 2024. So he's had that range embedded within his wheelhouse. The man in second, James Callahan, the 8-time independent school state champion in North Carolina, with his eyes fixated on the Maryland state champ in the independent school division himself, Caleb Tenney. 2 independent school champions, both vying for an Adidas national championship. And in third place is Samuel Darmani. who's had several top finishes in the OHSAA and the OATCCC. Whichever it be, he has been there on the scene.
Unofficially 5:35.
But he's going to need to really keep himself composed and run his own race if he's to hope that these top two don't run the legs off of him.
St. Vincent Pallotti High School still out front.
Caleb Tenney and James Callahan
Right on his heels.
just about matching each other's steps stride for stride.
Darmody of Springmeadow in third.
Tenney is controlling the lead, so not necessarily as though they're running abreast, but
To go.
as far as efforts go,
6:10 on the clock.
as far as mindsets go, they are in the same frame as they're in their final kilometer. Remember, they opened in a blazing 2:44 from when they started. Let's see what they can close in.
Here earlier this year.
If they can even or negative split the race, then they will break 9 for the first time in their lives. Such an exclusive barrier that many 2-milers strive for at the high school level.
6:43.
If we assess what's been done at Adidas Nationals in the past, Sam Rich, the unattached South Carolinian, back in 2021, did so at 8:58.15.
Callahan now taking the
Sam Rich now running
Tenney covering as they go.
with Notre Dame as a Fighting Irishman. These two, I'm sure, would love to compete at the Division I level if they haven't already booked their commitments. James Callahan showing his commitment to this race, living in the moment, coming up to the final 600 meters, 7:19. They have got a legitimate shot at breaking this 9-minute barrier. Callahan has broken Caleb Tenney. By the looks of it, the future North Carolina State Wolf, showing why he's committed on the moment. He's already secured his ticket to one of the best distance programs in the country. And now he wants to etch his name in the Sub-9 Club, one of the exclusive barriers in the country. So many parallels across our sport of track and field, but it is becoming ever clearer who will become national champion of the boys 2-mile. He is well on pace for a sub-9. He was at 7:53 with 400 to go. Remember, 9:12 is the fastest we have seen him run before. And James Callahan will take the bell in the championship 2-mile at 8:25. That last lap was a painful 32, but he is picking it up. Starting to unleash the tank, trying to finish on empty. Here at the Virginia Beach Sports Center, it is James Callahan, who experienced narrow disappointment, getting second in the 3,200 meters at States, a title he's won multiple times, but now he's proven that he can go the distance and win the national title and break 9. James Callahan, 8:55.94. And how about the finish for second? Here comes Samuel Darmani. Caleb Tenney made it a hot pace early. Darmani, with the fast finish, will secure the silver. Personal bests for all of our top three, and Will Baker gets up for fourth from Mount Gilead in Ohio. Let's have a look at those times. There it is, 8:55.94. As for full unconverted 2-mile efforts, that'll place James Callahan as U.S. number 18, in fact. Just a couple hundreds ahead of Juan Gonzalez, who sits at 18, coming in at 8:55.97. So top U.S. marks, national championships, personal records, and lifelong goals achieved, all happening at once. That was the boys' championship 2-mile run, and it did not disappoint. Looking at our next event on the track, we have got our middle school girls 400. So what did I say earlier? The 400 meters, we got a 3-hour window coming your way of this one event. At all sorts of different divisions, we're going to be going girls freshmen, boys freshmen, after the middle schoolers. Same gender order for national elite, and then the championships should take us to approximately 250. Enjoy these quarter miles while you got them. They'll be gone before you know it. Carson Gambaro with you on Flow Track and MileSplit as our first heat prepares to get underway.
Patterson in 2, Dillard in 3, Stewart in 4, Green in 5, Aquila in 6.
We've got Issa Patterson in 2, Brooklyn Dillard in 3, Lorelei Stewart in 4, Melanie Green in 5, and Kamaya McQuilla in 6.
They'll go 2 times around. Issa Patterson, Virginia Pride in lane 2, Brooklyn Dillard unattached in lane 3. Lorelei Stewart from Cutthroat Track Fair Club in 4, Melanie Green from Potomac Middle School Panthers in 5, and Kamaya McQuilla.
So a 400
Middle School Panthers
in the indoor scene, run in lanes for the first lap. Now they break at the cones, as you can see. And taking the bell is Issa Patterson for Virginia Pride. Wearing that all-black kit. Just a 7th grader, the entire field in this first heat, all in their 7th grade year. Let's see how much longer she can hold this pace. She is starting to struggle. This is where she's got to show how badly she wants it because she is coming under pressure, looking for room on the inside and finding the window. How about that sneak attack by Brooklyn Dillard? I'll tell you, Patterson did not see that coming. That's what makes an indoor 400 so exciting. You never know what's going to happen because the athletes eventually break in from their lanes. That paves way for contact tactics. It all comes down in that final lap. Heat 2 of 9 coming up next. In this section, we'll get to see the likes of Iona Swick in 2, Camilla Joyner in 3, Nevela Stewart in 4, Charlotte Kravitz in 5, and Eleanor Seychow in 6. Heats typically run, as we like to say, fast to fastest. So as they continue, they will only get faster. 67 is the time to beat. That's a minute 07.
Charlotte Kravitz from DC Hawks in 5, and Eleanor Seychow from Cutthroat Track and Field in lane 6. Kravitz from DC Hawks top time in this heat at 1:12. And that is Stewart from Cutthroat will be your leader through the 200. Stewart, Kravitz, and that'll be Stewart coming out on the home straightaway. Kravitz going to chase in second. That'll be your 1-2 more section 2. 32.55 for Stewart for the 200. 108.03 for Stewart to win section 2. Kravitz in 108.64 with Joyner in the 30, 113.56. As now we'll move to section 3. Anderson in 1, Chambers in 2, Amikubi in 3. Anderson unattached in lane 1, Peyton Chambers from track 757 in lane 2, Lucy Oyebode 200, followed by McDonald, Oguyi, Diacho, Anderson, and Chambers. McDonald now going on the outside of Hunt Muse. And that will be Parker McDonald from Studley Stingers. She'll win Section 3. McDonald's time, 106.42. But Muse in at 106.80. On the Bullet in at third, 108.20. As that 106.42 fastest time of the day. Section 4 of 9, Ada Lilly of Extreme Heights Pole Vault in lane 1. Mina Naylor from Kinston Spirits in lane 2. Aaliyah Dasher from Capital City Blazers in lane 3. Charlie Meeks from HR Hurricanes in 4. Carleon Foma of T4P Academy in 5. And Gabriella Vasquez of Windrunners in lane 6. Naylor 31.81 through the 200, followed by Vasquez, Lily, Dasher, Meade, and then Poma. Vasquez trying to go on the outside of Naylor as they come down the home straightaway. They are shoulder to shoulder, but now that'll be Gabriella Vasquez. She'll win Section 4. 105.94 for Vasquez, and it'll be the fastest time of the day. Naylor in second at 106.45. Lily will take third, 108.18. As we'll move to Section 5 of 9. Playing start, symbol logo of DC Hawks in lane 1, Jada Simon from Irvington Knights Elite in lane 2. Big China Symbols of Bullseye running in lane 3. Kelsey Charles from Visionary Athletics will be in 4. Lydia PJ from Valley Blaze in lane 5. And Amari Gunter from Glenard in lane 6. That looks like DJ from Valley Blaze, followed by Gunter from Glenard. DJ threw a 30.77 through the 200. Lydia PJ from Valley Blaze. Kelsey Charles from Visionary Athletics now goes to second. They work PJ to win Section 5. 104.31, fastest time of the day for EJ. Charles in at second from Visionary Athletics at 104.96 with Gudger from Glenard in at third, 106.32. Section 6 up next, 6 up 9.
Can you hear that crowd reaction to a 63-85 for the win? That was what just happened out of heat number 6 by Nala Ayers of Riverdale Baptist. As we resume focus with heat number 7. Heat 7 includes lanes 2, 3, 4, and 6. We are only ramping it up from here. Auburn Campbell, Blake Lucas, Journey Edwards, and Jada Booth. So let's look to see who takes control in the stagger early. It looks to be lane number 4. And yes, it is lane number 4. That's Journey Edwards of the Gazelles Track and Field Club. A 28-82 official 200-meter split as she heads down the back straightaway, trying to get away from Jada Booth of Adrenaline, Blake Lucas of Glenarden, and Auburn Campbell. All starting to try and come back. They are rallying around this far bend, really pushing each other off of that bank into the flat ground straightaway. Can Gazelles get there? It's going to be so close. Look at the last-minute effort by Booth. On the near side, Jada Booth. 63.04, the new fastest time in the girls' middle school 400 series with 2 heats still to go. 63.13, the entire heat, sub 64 out of section number 7. Here goes section number 8. We've got a little bit more density here, a total of 5 athletes in every lane but 5. Alexis Harris, Amber Brown, Ava Hughes, Charlotte Green, and Morgan Kent. Our meet record, to put it on your mind, is Jaya Patillo from 2023. Her 56.07 will be tough to beat. Let's see the halfway pace, though, 27 high. If you even split that against all humanly possible odds, hey, that'd be meet record pace. You see the splits loading in at halfway, 28.01, officially confirmed for our leader in heat number 8, Morgan Kent from HR Hurricanes, just a 6th grader. Can she break 60 seconds in this 400? She is coming to the line. Morgan Kent. A photo lean for second between Ava Hughes and Charlotte Green, but the winning time is the big question. Morgan Kent, 59.04. Are you kidding me? 6th grade going sub 60. Incredible. That is going to be tough to beat, that is for sure. And we've got only 1 heat left to see who can go after it. 5 girls on the line, each in their lanes for this section. You can see the start list at the bottom right of your screen. Let's meet them. We've got Cree Franklin of Glenarden in 2. Ella Powell of Team Ontario. Expect to hear her crowd get into it shortly. She'll be in lane 3. Caitlin Warner of Oberlin Spikes is in 4. Lauren Uhl of Dale City Lightning is in 5. And Alyssa Plowden of T4P Academy is in 6. We've got a lot of returners from yesterday's 200s. How will they vie for the 400-meter title? 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, the occupied lanes. And starting with authority is Cree Franklin of Glenarden. She saw that lane 2 draw and said, yes, please, as she is pulled right up even coming off of the stagger break. Will she get the inside position, though? She's going to have to fight for it with Alyssa Plowden of T4P, allowing Lauren Uhl of Dale City to slot right in behind them. All 5 girls are in with a shot as they race up the back straightaway. 59.07 still the time to beat, and here goes Lauren Uhl of Dale City, starting to step on the gas pedal. She's got the bolt on the back of her vest, and she's got nobody in front of her. Lauren Uhl from Dale City Elite 57, 58, it's close. I think she did it. It is confirmed 58-80, just enough to secure the national title. Morgan Kemp will hold on for second with her scorching 59.0, but 58.8, that'll be just enough to secure the natty. Give it up for Lauren Uhl of Dale City Lightning. Uhl comes from Woodbridge, Virginia. We know she's got some sprint and speed. She was actually in the 800 yesterday, so no question as to how she was able to dial up the endurance that she did in that second lap. She took third at the break-in, but from there, she took control. Looking at the schedule right now, we are at 11:43 on the clock, and we are 7 minutes between now and the start of the next event, the boys middle school championship 400-meter dash, an event that has plenty of history here at Adidas. We are going to see timed finals all go for the chip. Quincy Wilson, will his 48.81 meet record last? We'll find out in about 7 minutes with the 10 heats of the middle school boys 400 next on the track. Stick with us at Virginia Beach.
sections. As we get the middle school boys on the track, give you some updates in the field events. Middle school finals for the girls long jump completed. Your winner was Amani Moore from Lorena. Her best mark, 17 feet, 1 3/4 of an inch, 5 meters, 23. Aaliyah Thornton from Global Transitions Academy, your second best mark at 16 feet, 7 3/4 of an inch. That was 5 meters, 8. With Zanaya Quinn from Charter Elite Track Club, your third best mark at 16 feet, 7.5 inches, 5 meters, 7. And for the middle school.
Welcome back, everybody, to day 2 of Adidas Indoor Nationals at the Virginia Beach Sports Center. We're rolling with our next event, the Boys Middle School Championship 400-meter time finals. We've got 10 heats coming your way, the first of which features Jaden Avent of Hampton City in 1, Aiden Harrison of HR Hurricanes in 2, Lamar Cruz Jr. of Hampton City in 3, Jordan Event of Hampton City in 5. So we got a couple of twin brothers in this heat, separated by just 3 lanes and not many more minutes. Jordan in 5 and Jaden in 1. Byron Baxter of Overdrive Track Club rounds out this first heat in lane number 6. Once again, the rules of the indoor 400 aren't so simple as an outdoor 400 where you stay in your lane for the entirety of the stagger. This time, you have to break in once you reach the main straightaway on the first of 2 laps and fight it out for position from there. Here goes heat number 1. How fast of a pace will these boys set? So far, the Avent twins have set a pretty hot pace. But so too have Lamar Cruz Jr. and Byron Baxter. Rounding the far bend, getting ready to break in. A nice smooth cut in. Very nice job by Baxter to get to the front. He was well below 30 seconds at the halfway split. It's going to be difficult for him to come home in a sub-60 here, but this is where he's going to have to start testing out his speed endurance. You can see the increasing difficulty with every stride. This is what makes a 400 so difficult. But he is pushing through the difficulty. We had a yellow flag up there. Not sure if that was just to keep the lanes clear, if we had a lane violation, whatever it was. We've got a clear winner, Byron Baxter, in section number 1, 64.68, the early time to beat. 68.02, the second place time for Lamar Cruz Jr. of Hampton City Athletics. So how about that? The event twins finish around a second and a half apart for third and fourth in that opening section. Second heat called to a stand-up, allowing them to be introduced in full. We've got Mason Berger in lane 1, Elijah Tessin in 2, Dylan Oklapich running in lane 3. Lane 4 is Caleb Han, and Jordan Sammy is in 5. In fact, Sammy is in 6. Here's a look at the early makings of the stagger. And now that we get a full view of him, we can see that Mason Berger has made the quickest work of it out of lane number 1. Look at Mason go. He's going to hit the halfway split just outside of 30 seconds. He could be pacing this a little bit more sensibly than we saw the guys in the opening heat go. Mason Berger ahead by over 20 meters out of Powhatan Middle School. Has primarily running the distances, but trying to showcase what sprint speed he's got. Let's see how quickly he can close this thing down. Mason Berger, he'll be in the 63s high. I think he just took the lead in the standings. Oh, 64.01. He does take the lead in the standings despite not breaking 64. A very nicely paced race with only a 2-second differential in between first and second lap. As we move on to heat number 3, that's Marvick Pack of Capital City Blazers. Marvick in lane number 1. We've got Samuel Williams running unattached in lane 2. Looking elsewhere as we get to see the full lineup. Davey Quarles of Charles County Elite is in 3. Chandler Dew of Capital City Blazers is in 4. Running to get the block situation in order is Michael Davis of G2G Track Club. I wouldn't be surprised if that is short for good to go. Whatever it is short for, that's who Michael Davis represents. And Grant Grimm, running unattached, is in lane number 6. G2G repping Euclid, Ohio. Michael Davis with the preferable lane 5 draw, but look out for Grant Grimm in lane 6. He is only a 5th grader. The youngest in this field by far. Everybody else in this field, at least in 6th. But even elementary schoolers can thrive in the middle school divisions, as we'll see. Davis from G2G. I'd say he's looking pretty good to go as far as his opening 150 meters is concerned. He is about 10 to 15 meters ahead of the field as he breaks in. A nice smooth cut in 27 seconds through the opening 200 meters, and the 5th grader was below 30 as well. He's running in 3rd, just on the bottom center of picture, trying to tuck in and run with every ounce of juice he's got left. But now it's about Michael Davis trying to hold on to the final 100 meters if he can hold off Chandler Dew of Capital City. Here he comes around the outside. What a big move there. In fact, this looks like kip number 3. This is Davey Quarles of Charles County Elite, the new fastest time. And look at the finish by the 5th grader. Oh! Who got second? Was it Davis or Grimm? Davey Quarles, 61.88. And Grant Grimm, the 5th grader, gets up for second. Incredible finish. Running 64.55 as a 5th grader and nearly taking the win. Well, taking the win in the race within the race. That's what Grant Grimm just accomplished as we pivot to our 4th section of 10. Yet another storming first 200 that we're witnessing here. Another 27 approximately. That was Edward Pearl III, G2G Track Club. His teammate Michael Davis was leading up until this point in the race last heat, and he is out to avenge his friend and brother. Can he get to that line? He's starting to tire. 58.59. Oh! He does get to the line first. 61.18 was the time to beat, and he has just done so by over a second. 60.08 for Edward Pearl III, who, according to our live scoreboard, has a last name of I. Edward Pearl III, 60.08. Your winner in section number 5 of the boys, 4 of the boys middle school 800. This is section number 5. Here's a nice full view of the field spanning lanes 3 to 6. Called to a stand-up. We've got Diosic Ben Burney of track 757. Not the first time we've called his name. He was definitely a factor yesterday, having some good runs in the shorter distances. Alex De La Torre of North Durham is in 4. Akari Robinson in 5. And Riel Wren in 6 from Charles County Elite. So here they go. Our runner in lane 4, Alex De La Torre, being left behind. He could be staging a sit and kick if he's got the right endurance. But breaking in from the cones, Riel Wren will take the early advantage from Charles County Elite. You saw Davey Quarles, our previous overall winner, come from behind to get his heat win in section number 3. But this time around, it's going to be Riel Wren trying to hold off Okari Robinson in the final 50 meters of heat number 5. Here we go, down the straightaway, another injection of pace, and look at the time, 55. Keep in mind, 60 was the fastest we had coming in, and now Riel Wren goes 55.39. Getting up for second, that was Diosic Bent Burney from track 757. The 7th grader goes 56.62 to take the number 2 spot. Getting underway now, it's section number 6 of 10. 55.39. We're going to need to see some scorching splits to go after that. I'd estimate the 25s and 26s for 200. Taking it out early, we've got Savon Thompson from Hampton City Athletics out of lane number 5. One on his inside in 4 is Chase Cash of Cary Track Club. And even on the extreme inside in white, a near stumble, near trip on Landon Davis of Cleveland Express. He's forced to chop his stride and settle for 3rd in the current standings. Can he make another run at the top 2 in the final 100 meters? Savon Thompson, Chase Cash now getting into his running as they come around the far turn. It's going to be a dogfight to get to that line. Up alongside comes Cash with Thompson. Thompson just holds on, spreads his wings for victory. 58.27 for Savon Thompson of Hampton City. The top 4 in that heat, all below 60. Cash, Davis, that being Landon Davis, who had the earlier trip. Great runs by everybody in heat number 6 of 10. Getting into their starting positions now, we've got the 7th section of 10. Underway, we've got all 6 lanes filled this time. Jaden Estes, Samuel Bertley, Lawrence Wortham, Xavier Shaw, Cindrion Mazel, and Owen Ma. Look at Bertley from Team Ontario, the Canadian. He's going to be lifted by his crowd in this second lap. But this first lap, how about that opening split? 25 seconds. Xavier Shaw of Elite Express, though, sees some major momentum upon the break-in, and he now leads up the back straightaway at 338 seconds. Remember, 55:39 is the time to beat thus far. This is going to be a storming effort by Xavier Shaw, the 8th grader from Elite Express, as he comes down the straightaway, keeping his form nice and strong. 53 seconds for Xavier. The X-Man takes 2 seconds off the lead. And below it as well was Owen Ma of North Durham with a strong run for second.
Ma in at 54.99 with Intes in at 55.40. Section 8 of
Xavier Shaw from Riverwood Middle School in Clayton, North Carolina, just secured a new lifetime best over the 400-meter dash. Previously came in, from what we've seen, at a 53.74, 53.43. That's going to be tough to beat. Let's see who can get it done in heat number 8. Lanes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Of those, 3 is vacant. Zari Gideon, Eli Hilligear, Xavier Delval, Berlin Mary Jean, and Braylon Stepp, correction. Got a good mixture of guys starting with and without blocks, and also guys starting up and or down. Could give a bit of insight as to their background, whether they come from a mid-distance perspective or more of the shorter sprinter style. Xavier Delval of Charger Elite cuts in nice and smoothly at 26 seconds. He's going to need to really kick it in this last lap and hope that he has the wheels to hold off the field as they head into the far backstretch on a second lap. Braylon Stepp is right there. Berlin Mary Jean not too far behind. Less than 100 meters to go. Only 7 seconds now, 6 to get to that line. It's going to be a mano-a-mano battle and a slingshot on the outside by Braylon Stepp. High-stepping it to the line with a little lean to boot. Braylon goes 55-59 to take the win in section number 8 with just 2 heats to go.
As we'll go to section 9 of 10. It'll be 8 Mansell unattached in lane 1 out.
Looking at our next group of athletes, we've got heat number 9 coming up.
Avery from Cleveland Mustangs will be in 3. Bryce Owens from Acceleration Nation in lane 4. Miles Mungo from Second Gear Speed in lane 5. And David.
After this, we're going to shift over to the freshman girls time finals at around 12:10, so we're right on schedule. In this heat, looking to beat the 53.43 that we saw from Xavier Shaw in the 7th heat. We've got Alexander Yu, Devon Avery, Bryce Owens, Miles Mungo, and David Ainarua. They get underway, first time. Sticking in their lanes for the first 3 quarters of a lap. Bryce Owens making a good early impression, as is Devon Avery from Cleveland Mustangs. He's in lane number 3. He'll be breaking in first.
That's Avery and Owens. And as they break, that will be Devon Avery.
Avery really working his arms in this second lap. Knows now is the time to start going, but it's going to be hard to get away as the rest of the field is surging. Look at the long strides on the outside. David Ainarua of Virginia Pride. What a surge out of hip number 6. He'll go 53 high to take the win. Not quite the lead overall. Also had a strong surge by Miles Mungo of Second Gear Speed Track Club. But 53.78 should be good for second overall for David Ainarua heading into the 10th and final section of the boys middle school 400. Mungo, 54.26 and 54.80 for Avery. Getting a look at our start list in the final. We've got Najee Sebico, Bryson Davidson, Zachary Pratt, Vincent Turayi, Chance Anderson, and Chase Elliott. Elliott made the finals of the hurdles this morning. Anderson in 5 won the 800 last night. We know Quincy Wilson having his sharehold of history on this event with the meet record of 48.81, taking the early bell, 24 seconds at 200 meters by our outside most competitor Chase Elliott from Southern Sprinters. Back for more. He wants to go for the national title after being denied in the hurdles, but here comes the 800 man, Chance Anderson, around the outside with 100 meters to go. Chance Anderson, a 51-second sprinter at his best, is going for a special time here. Another 51, this time indoors. With a big man from Texas, a double middle school national champion at Adidas Indoor Nationals. 51.65 for Chance Anderson, a lifetime best for the Rockwall, Texas native.
It looks like that 53.43 from Xavier Shaw in the 7th section will be your 3rd place. So it'll be Anderson, Elliott, and Shaw. That's your unofficial top 3. And the middle school boys 400 dash.
So as we said, the next division of 400s, we got a lot of them coming. It's the girls freshmen. Up next, 6 sections, all-time finals. As we continue on day 2 of Adidas Indoor Nationals live on Flow Track. Time to look at our lineup in heat number 1 for the girls 400 meters freshmen. We've got Layla Cobra of Riverdale Baptist in 2, Ariana Alford of Dynamis Track Club in 3, Lauren Cannon of St. Vincent Pallotti in 4, Delaney Zinsmeister running unattached in 5, and Shannon Swick also running attached in lane 6. Swick off to a swift start on the left of your screen, now running in the center of frame. She is in the early lead on the stagger with just 1 bent to go, but look out on her inside in hip number 3. Getting into her running is Ariana Alford from Dynamis. Running away at around 28 seconds, but look at where she is. Still in lane 3, she's got to cut in. She's worried about a lane violation that she doesn't have to worry about. And finally, nope, she's still in lane 3. She's running way too much distance. Come on, get inside. There she goes to the inside of lane 1. Still running away from the field, having run well more than 400 meters by the conclusion of this race. You got to give it up for Alford. What a phenomenal effort by Ariana. Your winner in heat number 1 with a 62-second finish. 62.37, setting the early time to beat. Cannon takes second, and Kober takes third. Layla Kober, she's got some fans in our live chat. Riverdale Baptists, we know their crowd likes to bring it, their athletes like to bring it. They won the mixed relay last night in the very last final of day one. And so they've got plenty more to look out for. From what I can tell you, they've got some more competitors to expect in this group of 400s as well. Not in this particular heat, though. This time around, we've got Eloise Puckett from New Orleans Metro Stars in 1, Zahara Brown of Jackson Reed in 2, Corey Danso of Springbrook in 3, Stella Daly of Ardrey Kell, and her teammate Tessa Tinge in 4 and 5, and Reese Reed, running unattached, will take lane number 6. Heat 2 of 6. On the track next for the girls' freshman 400. But we talk about the complicated nature of the 400s. We saw last heat as an example. Athletes are so used to staying in their own lanes, not having to worry about cut-ins, break-ins, track positioning, angles that they must take from point A to point B. That's what adds to the drama, the complication, and overall fun of the indoor 400. .62.3 by Ariana Alford, our time to beat, as they're called to a quick stand-up. We're going to have to hold it for a second, which allows me to shout out our social teams from Flow Track, MileSplit on all platforms, and the Adidas Track Nationals Instagram page. They are our weekend-long partners, and they are willing to repost your photos of you with your Adidas Track Nationals backpack. If you've got a backpack, snap a photo of you wearing your bling and tag at @ATrackNationals on Instagram, and you just might get featured. Let's see who will feature in heat number 2. Again, 62.3 is what they're aiming for. Tessa Tinge of Ardrey Kell has taken things out rather smoothly and steadily. She's in lane number 5 in the apparent lead, but she could be challenged in this home straightaway. She's going to need to take a longer path to get that inside rail, but she will. 4 girls in the mix, all having emerged out of the middle lane. Zahara Brown, Corey Danso, Stella Daly. You take your pick as they head up the final backstretch in this second heat. Here comes Stella Daly, her teammate. The Ardrey Kell girls going to push each other down the final 100 meters. The rest of the field fighting it out for third. Side by side with hips 4 and 5 coming back on the outside. It'll be Tinge setting the new top mark in the 61-second range. Tessa Tinge and Stella Daly. 61 correction, .59. 61.78 for second by Stella Daly.
As we move to section 3 of 6, Kaya Charles of Visionary Athletics will be in lane 1. Ayana Vanessa from Largo High School will be in lane 2. Delana Bowie unattached in lane 3. Brianna Ashcraft from Cardinals Elite in lane 4. Gracie Ray from Liberty Creek High School will be in 5. And Glenola Parker from Harlem Children's Zone Track Club in lane 6.
Underway with the third section.
Section 3, Charles, Vanessa, Bode, Ashcraft.
We've got Kaya Charles, Alyana Demessa, Delana Bove, Brianna Ashcraft, Gracie Ray, Winona Parker. Your field of 6 on schedule. It looks like all 6 of them are out there as they're ready to break in. In heat number 3 of 6 for the girls, freshman 400. All below 30 seconds are the top 3, muscling her way past. Oh, and a fall. She had taken the lead. It looked like Gracie Ray of Liberty Creek, but ended up falling to the track. A chaotic occurrence here. Let's see who will ultimately withstand for the lead. As coming off of the turn, this is hip number 2, and Ayana DeMessa of Largo will secure the top spot. Let's see just what kind of time she achieved. 61:34, just ahead of the previous winning time. Ayana DeMessa gets the nod over Delana Bove. I think that might have been Winona Parker of Harlem Children's Zone who ended up taking the fall. Gracie Ray, one of the many athletes involved in the contact. If we had instant replay, we'd take another look at it, but you've got to move on to another heat, section number 4.
Chisholm in 2, Trump Power in 3, Pulley in 4, and Collins in 5, and 6 is open.
Looking at the field for heat number 4, we've got Sanaya Brown of Riverdale Baptist, Erin Chisholm unattached, Riley Trumpauer of Lucas, London Pulley of BK Elite, Layla Collins of Hammond Track Club, and Sofia Viveros running unattached. Your full field of 6 looked like Viveros scratched out of the exterior-most lane. We were told in our live chat comments section to look out for heat number 4, Sanaya Brown. Going to be in the mix for the number 2 spot, but well out front as we speak. London Pulley of BK Elite takes the lead at the halfway point. She's ahead by over 10 meters. Can she be caught? Layla Collins starting to get into it. Riley Trumpauer in 3rd. And the fast finishing Brown is still there in 4th as they hit the final 100 meters. Now starting to tire. London Pulley trying to go wire to wire. She's going to have to try as hard as she can to hold on for this win. She just has enough to do so. A great finish, about a hip number 2 by Erin Chisholm. But how about our first sub 60? That'll get it done for the win. A 59.63, courtesy of London Pulley of BK Elite. Let's meet the field in our next section. Heat number 5. We've got Mafada Karuma in 1, Akila Scott in 2, Carrington Hernandez in 3, Jaden Krumanaker of Milwaukee Mustangs. Again, she's back from one of her infield finals earlier. Olivia Stanley is in 5, and Alea Grattini is in 6. now called onto their marks. They were previously called onto their marks, but there was a lot of action happening, so they had to stand them up. And now we're going to try again. Heat number 5 of 6. In the girls' freshman 400. So far, only one sub-60. We saw a couple of middle schoolers break that barrier. Our meet record, Jaya Patillo again, 55-10. And the national freshman record by Providence Day's Kayla Davis, 52-96. All those marks to consider for the next 2 heats as they get ready to take the halfway split, 26 high. How about Harlem Children's Zone's Mafata Karuma? Her teammate took a tough fall just a few heats ago, and she has seized the inside hip and advantage as they head up the final backstretch towards the final 100 meters. It's going to be a 5-girl dogfight. They are going to have to scratch and claw their way to that finish line if they want the win. Mafata Karuma from Harlem Children's Zone goes ahead to get the victory, 58 seconds. Yet another leading time in the overall series, 58.70 for Mafata Karuma. We also had Akila Scott and Olivia Stanley break the 60-second barrier. In addition, so that brings us to 4 in the sub-60 club, but we are about to witness the fastest heat in the seedings, heat 6 of 6. Running just a smidge behind schedule. The boys' freshmen will be after this. They were scheduled to go about a minute from now. But as we've seen multiple times throughout these 1.5 days of competition, nobody can adjust like the workers at the Virginia Beach Sports Center. They were able to help conduct a national Division I NCAA championship last week, after all, and this is the 5th year of the Adidas Track Nationals. So business as usual to come from the officials. Let's meet the field in Heat 6. Jemiah Frazier in 1, Allie Brediger in 2, the 60-meter freshman champion. Eris Moore in 3, and in 4, running blind, is Michaela Bass of TCK Elite Panthers. So some good representation from the Buckeye State of Ohio in this heat. A great start by Allie Brediger, who in yesterday's prelims tied Abby Steiner's Ohio State freshman record. It's 7.55 over that distance. Let's see if she's got the speed endurance. We know Steiner does, as Allie Brediger's predecessor. Of course, she is her own athlete, charting her own course, and she is going to have to run incredibly strong in this last lap, as she took it out in 27 and nearly tripped on the near side rail. She's going to have a 2-way battle coming up on her rear as Brediger hits the final 100 meters at 300. This goes to show you the mounting difficulty of the 400. Let's not forget about the winning time to beat, 58.70. Brediger's got a dig here, 55, 56, 57. She's got the 6,400 double. Official winning time for Brediger, a 57.84. If we look at our MileSplit Ohio database, that could give us a sense as to indoor high school records for the freshman division. As 57.84, that'd have to be entirely possible for a record. 56.02 is the indoor Ohio State record, so not quite a record, but as far as the all-time list goes, Allie Brediger just moved into Ohio number 11 all-time for freshmen. And this is for a girl that is now tied for number 1 all-time as a freshman over 60 meters. So that makes it that much more impressive that she was able to not only do that, but off of likely tired legs. Boys freshman, 400 meters up next. All-time finals as we've been rocking with in recent memory. 9 sections. And a meet record by Jamel Brown of 50:29. Let's see who breaks in from the cones early. This is Malcolm Brown of MJM Elite. Right around 23 mid through that first 200. So they could be looking to chase after a meet record in the very first heat. Just imagine that. They're going to need a strong close to get that done. 36 high at 300. But how about the turnover of Malcolm Brown, MJM Elite? He leads over Micah Slingerland of U Sports Academy of Virginia, and he goes 50 point, potentially 51 for the opening section win. That is going to be very tough to beat as we move forward. A 51.05 for Malcolm Brown to win the opening section. That's within a second of the meet record. Very rare you see in the first of a 9-section fast to fastest time final something like that. I'll tell you, this house would have come down had he broken it in that first heat. But 51.09.05 correction, still an exceptional time. We got a little peek-see of our second group of guys coming up in heat number 2. We got Chance Davis, was scheduled in lane 1. He is not out on the track, so lane 1 is a scratch. Matthew Acosta of Hampton Roads Hurricanes, Elias Duquette of Buffalo Gap, Kenneth Johnson of Lake Taylor, Jaden Laganegro of Elmira Express, and Carson Hall from lanes 2 to 6. Let's see how they shape up.
Acosta, Duquette, Johnson, Laganegro, and Hall.
Lane 2 cutting in nice and smoothly. That's how you do it. Matthew Acosta of the HR Hurricanes. He's familiar with this area. He's familiar with this track. He'll take the last 100 meters about a second ahead, but over a second behind the ghosts of our previous heat winner, Malcolm Brown. He's going to have to go for his own time, though. He could be chasing a PR. Let's see if Matthew Acosta can get it done. He'll go 53, just approximately on the dot. 53.04, just a couple seconds off of the winning time from the opening section. Acosta, he came in having yet to run a 400 this season, so as far as his high school days, that'll go down as a personal record. And as for his club days with the Hurricanes, he just beat his personal record of 53.11 from AAU Indoor Nationals just a couple weeks ago. The official time, again, was a 53.04. We didn't get to show you that, but had to assess how that compared. I think we got a common theme here. Athletes setting PRs, no matter the scenario, no matter the stakes. We got heat 3 on the track now. Daniel Rosella, Keon Brady, Caden Smith, and Deveris Washington. We're being told by our live audience, Daniel Rosella, y'all remember the name. That is a direct quote from our live comment section. Let's see how Daniel Rosello will feature. He'll be in third at the halfway point, and leading is the man from Riverdale Baptist, Tavares Washington, as they head into the far back stretch for the second time. This is a four-man race, anybody's game. How about Keon Brady and Caden Smith trying to get in the mix? This is a big-time move. Caden Smith, who sat and waited and is unleashed in the home straightaway. A nice come-from-behind victory to take heat number 3, and a strong finish for second by Keon Brady to hold off the charging Daniel Rosello. Official winning time, a 55:42.
So Shamrock Thune, your first throw for the championship boys weight throw, 77 feet, 11 3/4 of an inch, 23 meters 77 from Woodsocket High School. Again, the U.S. number one in the country. His first throw is a good one as he takes the lead in the championship boys weight throw.
Section number 4 coming up next. We've got Adam Palushak running unattached. He's a scratch out of lane 1. Trevor Mills of Cardinals Elite is out there in 2. Israel Alexander of St. Paul's School in 3. Honor Colazzo from Arena in 4. And in lane number 6 is Wilmino Sainbert running unattached.
Section 4, Trevor Mills of Cardinal Elite in lane 2. Israel Alexander from St. Paul's School in lane 3. Connor Colazzo from Arena Track Club in 4. And Wilmino Sainbert unattached in lane 6. 51:05 is still your top time, and that came from section 1, and that was Brown from MJM Elite.
We're on a 25-second opening lap for Cardinals Elite's Trevor Mills. He will lead the charge up the backstretch. Trevor Mills trying to hold off his cheap opposition. Right behind him, Israel Alexander really got his knees up to get himself up to the lead position. Nearly tripping on the rail, though, and a door is open for Mills on the inside. Trevor Mills stays on his feet and grinds it out for the Heat 4 victory.
55-15 for Mills.
A crazy finish in Section 4, the boys' freshman 400. 55-15, the official winning time for Trevor Mills, who likely thought at one point that he had lost the race once Alexander swept by him with 100 meters to go. But Israel just got a little bit too flirtatious with that inside rail. And the next thing he knew, he was fighting to keep his balance. He did very nicely, but had to settle for second. 55-33 is still a great time. This is section number 5 of the boys' freshman 400-meter dash. Let's see who we've got here. They get underway. I'm seeing lanes 1, 3, 4, and 5. Taylor, that's Evan Taylor. Joaquin Stewart of Iona Prep, Frederick Bansomer of Wallkill Valley, and Tyron Larry Parker from Riverdale Baptist. Tyron Larry Parker surges ahead of the field. He will lead at 200 going into the second lap. Let's see if he can hold off the field. It's going to be a challenge. A low 25 split at halfway. Joaquin Stewart surging with every stride. Both of them surging for the finish line. Who's going to get it done? Oh! Joaquin Stewart will take the win Tyron Larry Parker sent to the track, given a round of applause by the crowd as he crosses the line. He could not believe what just happened. Joaquin Stewart, though, will collect the win. We've got a lot of wild contact here. I believe Larry Parker might have just lost his balance or something. Did not look as though there was any infringent contact. Either way, that's just the brutality of the sport. When you're being consumed by all that lactic, staying on your feet becomes all the more challenging. Section 6 on the track. We've got Nicholas LaFleur in 1, Tyler Miller in 2, Matt Jarrett in 3, Kellen Sutherland in 4, Ryan Street in 5, and Cameron Green. The lone vacancy in this heat was scheduled to be in lane 6. As they get underway, again staying in their lanes. Let's see how they fare down this backstretch. That is Kellen Sutherland of Culpeper County who's taken the early advantage. In lane 4, he's got to hold that stagger through, as coming up on his inside to challenge is Nicholas LaFleur of Hartley, taking a halfway split. It is still Culpeper County's leader in this 6th section, Kellen Sutherland. The rest of the group going to battle it out for second as Kellen tries to extend his gap just beneath 39 seconds at 300 meters. And look at the charging quartet trying to catch him. Around the far turn they come. But Sutherland, does he have enough? Kellen Sutherland just holds on. How about Tyler Miller of Mount Gilead, Ohio, to get right up with him at the final finish? But it'll be the man from Culpeper, the homebody from Virginia, to hold on for the Heat 6 win. 53-78 to 53-85. Airtight come the final stages. Section 7, we've got Micah Shepard in 1, Matt Jarrett in 3. In fact, Preston Mills of Cardinals Elite, he's in lane 3. Aiden Burney of Riverdale Baptist is in 4. That's the full field. Just 3 athletes out there as we head down the back straightaway on the first lap, still in our lanes. Riverdale Baptist, look out for them in the bright gold there. Aiden Burney. This is one of the fastest starts we've seen in a while. He'll be in the 24s, very low. He's going to have to look out, though. Preston Mills made a strong move to get up into second at the halfway point, overtaking Micah Shepard of Kikoten. And down the back straightaway, he makes the pass. Less than 100 meters to go and running away with it. Preston Mills of Cardinals Elite, building his gap, keeping the turnover rapid, and powering the arms. 51 mid, just off of Malcolm Brown's Heat 1 winning time. It has stood ever since as the leading mark, but a very strong result nonetheless. 51-60 for Preston Mills. That'll place him number 2 in the overall standings. So by all means, he has done his damage and has given himself a chance to place very prominently if that mark can maintain for some more heats. Heat 8 setting up in their lane assignments for the next race. Heat 8 of 9, so just 2 heats left to beat Malcolm Brown's time. He's got to be watching with extreme anticipation. Malcolm Brown from MJM Elite out of La Plata, Maryland. Went 51.05 to win the opening section. Can anybody beat that here? Heat 8 includes Ryan Foster, Antonio Jukes, Lathan Scott, Ethan Yim, Derek Lyons Jr., and Shannon Palmer. They get underway. First gun. Shannon Palmer, definitely a contender to watch from Ann Arbor Track Club. Previously held one of the 60 middle school meet records before it was broken this year. So knowing that he's already got some national championship credentials at Adidas, he'll have to like his odds to factor in this heat. But how about Derek Lyons Jr. from Charles County Elite, who takes the halfway split first? A 24-point split. Now really stretching out down the back straightaway. Ryan Foster of Elite Track and Field Training right behind him and now in front of him as he makes the pass on the turn, and he is not unaccompanied, folks. We've got 2 guys coming up into the mix as well. Here comes Shannon Palmer with hip number 6, racing for the tape. He'll be in the upper 51s again. So Brown's time will withstand once more 51.80 for Shannon Palmer, who was shot out of a cannon in that last 100 meters.
So that is the 3rd fastest time of the day.
He'll slot at a number 3 overall behind our Heat 7 winner, that being Preston Mills, and our Heat 1 winner, Malcolm Brown. Can he hold on with 8 faster seeded heats in between he and the final time tally? Just imagine. Again, the meet record still stands at 50.29 by Jamel Brown from 2021, one of the older meet records held here at Adidas Nationals. Let's meet the field as they get ready to go. Lane number 2, Cameron Chandler of Western Branch High School, one of our fan favorites per our live audience comment section. He'll be in lane number 2. Joey Wynn of Charlotte Christian. He already made one of the infield finals earlier. Look out for him in 3. Maxwell Manning of Memphis Mustangs is in 4. Brandon Thorne unattached in 5. And John Cody of War Track Club is in 6. We are underway in the final of the boys 400-meter freshman. Going out very hard is Joey Wynn. Having made a final already, he's shown that he's in great fitness. He wants to capitalize on that. Right on his inside, Cameron Chandler is in the mix for 2nd. They're going to have to really fight it out for that position, though. Some shouldering, some contact, some scrambling for position. John Cody of War Track Club now finds himself in the number 2 spot, with Maxwell Manning trying to stick with the top 3. Now surging around the far turn. Let's see if he can go the distance. It's been Joey Wynn the whole way around, but Manning finally gets in front, and Maxwell Manning just might have gotten the national championship, or did he? Joey Wynn stuck his chest out at the finish line. Who got the lean? Maxwell Manning, just enough. 50.07. Joey Wynn across in the same time, a double meet record, but a scintillating national championship. Crazy, crazy final. Wynn is rounded up to 50.08, but either way, he ran a brilliant race out of lane number 3.
It will be Malcolm Brown from MJM Elite from that first section. Looks like he'll take 3rd. He ran 51.05.
Malcolm Brown gets delegated to 3rd after all that. To think that he came that close to winning a national title, running in the slowest seeded heat. Incredible.
So Thune on his 2nd
So Max Manning from Nashville, from Memphis Mustangs, correction, from the volunteer state of Tennessee, will go home your national champion in the boys freshman 400. He'll have the meet record as well, with Joey Wynn having to settle for the silver, but having made 2 finals and excelled in 2 finals, his weekend has been nothing short of spectacular. We're going to take a quick break. When we return at 12:55, we will be back for the next event, the National Elite Girls 400-meter dash from Adidas Track Nationals.
So again, as mentioned, Shamrock Doon, your U.S. number 1. Gary is your U.S. number 11. And Jay Early, your U.S. number 34.
Next up on the track, the girls 400-meter dash national meet. There are 16 sections on a time basis. The meet record 56:45, set in 2022 by Nia Harrison of the War Track Club. In this first section, in lane 2, Nakia Morton, Largo High School. Lane 3, Nehemiah Harrison, Largo High School. Lane 4, Victoria Baptiste, unattached. Lane 5, Caleb
16 heats of National Elite 400 coming your way. Girls up first. And then it'll be a bunch more heats of the boys. In this section, lanes 2 through 5 are filled. Rakia Morton, Nehemiah Harrison, Victoria Batiste, Kayla Gordon, and Sahana McLeod. So far, it looks like lane number 5 making a nice early impression. That's Kayla Gordon of Gaithersburg Elite. Staying in her lane until right about now at the cones. Right on her inside, she's got to look out for the strong contender Victoria Batiste. We're going to be a single file group on this last lap, trying to maintain or increase their positions. A 28-22 opening 200-meter split in around a 43. 300-meter clocking. Let's see if she can maintain. Kayla Gordon of Gaithersburg Elite, a big surge coming up into second. But it won't be enough to catch Kayla Gordon. She's sub-60 in the opening section. How about that? And how about the fast finish there for the number 2 spot? 59.60 for Gordon. That was McLeod. Sahana McLeod of Harding University. Harding University from Charlotte, North Carolina, but Gaithersburg Elite, Kayla Gordon, the Maryland native, gets up for the early win.
Lane 2, Addison Haskins unattached. Lane 3, Andrea Rogers, John Marshall. Lane 4, Taylor Joyner, Coolridge. Lane 5, Deanna Hunt, Eastern High School. And lane 6, Imani Dye, Coolidge High School.
Section 2 in their starting positions. Addison Haskins in lane 2. Adria Rogers in 3. Taylor Joyner in 4. Deanna Hunt in 5. And Imani Dye in 6. Good start by Haskins. The junior running unattached on the extreme inside in 2. She's already made up around 1.5 staggers. Right center of screen with the yellow front side. Let's see if she can get into the lead. We've got another strong start by lane 5, Deanna Hunt of Eastern High School. 28 once again through the opening 200 meters as they head for the second lap. Down onto the final back straightaway. Here comes Haskins. Surging by just outside of 100 meters to go. Around 110 from the finish. Let's see if she can keep this momentum going. 59.60, the time to beat thus far. Again, it's just the second of 16 sections, so a lot of racing to go. But Addison Haskins, she'll be just below 60, I'll say, once she crosses the finish line. 59.98. Sub 60 by the narrowest of margins. Well done, Addison Haskins.
Section 3. Lane 2, Andy May of Riverheads. Lane 3, Nadia Harris, Baha'i Track Club. Lane 4, Olivia Harding, Port City Track Club. Lane 5, Peyton St. Clair, Cardinals Elite. And lane 6, Shania McGann, the Gazelles.
Heat number 3 is underway. Let's meet the field in this section. We've got lanes 2, 3, 4, and 6. So that is Andy Mays, Nadia Harris, Olivia Hardy, and Shania McGann. Nadia Harris of the Hive has taken over the lead. A sensible first lap in comparison to what we've seen in the 30s on her split. Let's see if she can maintain the last 100 meters. She's going to have a lot of company. Here is where the racing happens in the indoor 400. Olivia Hardy of Port City is right there. And down the final steps, Olivia will sneak by for the win. Hardy making it look easy as she goes 64.59. A very nice run by the sophomore. From Wilmington, North Carolina.
Section 4, lane 2, Elia Husby, Apex. Lane 3, Amelia Westray, Jackson Reed.
While we're in between heats, I must give additional shout-outs to our camera operators, Austin Melius and Preston Merchant, bringing you all of the best angles of the Adidas Track Nationals coverage. Once again, our Mark Dwyer on the ground handling post-race interview duty with our national champions in just about each and every discipline. And our great photographers, Marianne Magnant and David Wen. Keep an eye out for all their content on all of our social channels, MileSplit, Flow Track, and A-Track Nationals. Rocking and rolling in heat number 4. Lanes 2, 3, 5, and 6 this time. Ayla Husby, Amalia Westray, Madeline Ford, and Emmy Steinrotter. Steinrotter coming all the way from Potsdam in New York. They like to call it Section 10 up there. Their school's mascot known as the Sandstoners. Nice to see her competing down here at Virginia Beach. Whether or not she comes home national champion, I'll tell you who wants to come home national champion based on the way she's taken this first 200 out. That is Ayla Husby from Apex. She's a senior this year, so she's definitely running with a sense of urgency. Now less than 100 meters to go. Got to step on the gas if you want to get that win. Ayla Husby with a challenge on her outside. This is going to be an epic final 100 meters and surging into the lead from the outside most hip number. That is hip number 5, Madeline Ford of Lake Norman.
Madeline Ford, 102.87.
A 62.87 final clocking to take heat number 4. Again, we got 16 heats of this 400, so do bear with us as we continue. Looking at when our next division is supposed to begin, that's 1:30, so 28 more minutes of this madness, as we like to call it, in a good way, as there's just so much happening at once. Adds to the excitement.
Section 5, Phillips, Acapulco.
Next heat gets underway. Yet another section of 4. Taylor Phillips, Moyo Akimola, Kirian Lauren Williams, and Taylor Cubbage. It's between lanes 3 and 6 as they come off the turn. Taylor Phillips of Apex and Taylor Cubbage of the Stoosters. Phillips with that high arm carry. Really focus on driving forward with every step. That's what she's got in her mind right now as she tries to build a cushion over the field. Taylor Phillips from Apex, less than 100 meters to go. She saw her teammate get caught in the closing stages of the previous heat. So looking for some vengeance, perhaps. Looking to push her own boundaries as well. Taylor Phillips will take the win in heat number 5 of 16 of the girls' National Elite 400-meter dash.
Taylor Phillips, 101.
61.59 for Taylon Phillips. Having a look at what she's done previously, the junior from Snellville, Georgia, is quite the speedster when it comes to her 200-meter ability. She went 24.71 this early outdoor season for a lifetime best. She's even gone sub-60 before, so considering all the outdoor racing that she's done in the early stages of the season, to come up here for a random indoor meet, not so random as it is the Adidas Track Nationals, but in the midst of her usual outdoor schedule, I think that says something about the effort we just saw from our Heat 5 winner. We've had plenty of Georgian representation from the Peach State. We've had some athletes come all the way from places like Iowa, Wisconsin, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island even. You name a state, it's most likely got some form of representation. We've even had national champions in the middle school division by elevated distance training from Colorado. Heat number 6 is on the track now.
Stand up. Left card, on your marks.
Lanes 1 through 5 setting up in their starting positions. We've got Ariel Westray of Jackson Reed, Ellie Musica running unattached in 2, Olivia Purse of Jackson Reed in 3, Izzy Spillman unattached in 4, and Kara Belton of FIA Ambassadors in lane number 5. So far, look at the early start by the unattached Izzy Spillman, just a sophomore. This entire heat made of either sophomores or juniors. But Izzy Spillman definitely showing the strongest in that first 100, but how about the second 100? Now we're starting to see some mix it and match into the positions. Olivia Purse and her teammate Ariel Westray, the Jackson Reed teammates from Washington, D.C., lining up 1 and 2 into the final backstretch. 150 meters to go. Let's see if any of our early surgers have some late charges to counter the JR Tigers' stronghold on the lead. They'll have to go the long way around this turn to get it done. Coming to the finish. It's going to be close. Jackson Reed holds on. Olivia Purse. Kira Belton came on at the end. So did Izzy Spillman, our early stagger leader. But ultimately, Olivia Purse with a 61.47 will hold on for the win. Kara Belton was there, just 300ths ahead for second of Izzy Spillman. And even Ellie Musica broke 62. That entire heat finished within basically a half second of one another. As heat number 7 gets ready to go. In this heat, we've got Tanea Watson of CMIT in 1. Her teammate, Nyla Brady, in 2. Serenity Harvey of Dunamis Track Club coming up in 3. McKaylee Kaur of Northeastern takes lane number 4. Zoe Evers of TCK Elite Panthers in 5. And Ariela Bishak from Ontario is in lane number 6. Keep in mind, this Ontario is from Mansfield, Ohio, not to be confused with Team Ontario from Canada. Serenity Harvey from Dunamis Track Club has taken things out the quickest in the early stages. She's putting some real pressure on those outside and inside of her. And she will emerge as the leader coming off of the stagger break. Yet another athlete signified by our live chat. Let's see if she has the speed endurance to hold off this single file formation field. Right behind her, McKaylee Kaur of Northeastern. She's representing Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and she's in with a shot in this final 100 meters. Look at this three-way battle. Harvey still looking strong off of the turn, though. Serenity Harvey. Here comes Mackenzie Kaur. Does she have enough gas? Serenity Harvey does. She'll break 60 in addition for the Heat 7 win.
Serenity Harvey, 59.72.
59.72 for Serenity Harvey. Rain King said it once again. Watch out for Serenity Harvey. You can chime in on our live chat too. Don't be shy on our FlowTrack YouTube stream. If you're watching us on flowtrack.org, we welcome you in as well. I'm Carson Gabbaro, talking to you from the Virginia Beach Sports Center. And I would love to know if you could rate the Adidas Track Nationals backpack on a scale of 1 to 10, what number would you give it? I personally would give it a 10. It is well worth the wait, in my opinion.